Following the structure you provided, this is a message from God. Not everything that reaches your heart at the right moment is random. Sometimes God speaks through a verse you cannot forget. Sometimes He warns through a discomfort you cannot explain. Sometimes He closes a door, delays an answer, quiets your surroundings, or allows a strange burden to rise in your spirit because He is trying to get your attention. And maybe this is why you are here tonight. You have been asking for clarity. You have been wondering if God is leading you, correcting you, protecting you, or preparing you for something you cannot yet see. Deep inside, you feel that this season is not ordinary. Something is shifting. Something is being revealed. Something in your heart knows that God may be calling you closer. In this video, you will discover 10 biblical signs that God may be leading you right now. Not just toward an answer, but toward obedience, alignment, healing, protection, and deeper faith. So calm your mind. Let your heart become still before the Lord. Do not rush past what God may be trying to show you, because before this message ends, you may realize that the discomfort was not punishment, the delay was not rejection, and the pressure was not the end. It may have been God's way of saying, "My child, listen carefully, I am leading you. Stay until the end, because one of these signs may explain exactly why certain things in your life have become impossible to ignore." You keep feeling that something must change. You may not have the full answer yet, but your spirit knows you cannot keep living the same way. Something inside you has become restless, not because God is rejecting you, but because He is awakening you. There are seasons when the Lord allows a holy discomfort to enter the heart. You try to continue as before, but it no longer feels right. You try to ignore the quiet conviction, but it returns. You try to settle back into old patterns, but something in your soul keeps saying, "This is not where you are meant to remain." That feeling may be a message from God. The prodigal son did not return home until he came to himself. Before he walked back to the Father, something inside him woke up. He looked at where he was, what he had lost, what he had become, and he realized, "I cannot stay here." And maybe that is what God is doing in you. Maybe He is allowing you to see what your soul has been tolerating for too long. The fear, the compromise, the delay, the spiritual dryness, the emotional weight, the habit that keeps weakening you, the relationship that keeps pulling you away from peace, the life you keep managing but no longer feel alive inside. Listen with humility. Not every discomfort is an attack. Some discomfort is direction. Sometimes God disturbs your comfort because comfort has become your prison. Sometimes He lets you feel dissatisfied with the old place because He is preparing you for a new level of obedience. Sometimes He allows the heart to feel uneasy, not to punish you, but to rescue your future before you waste another season asleep. So tonight, ask yourself honestly, what has God been making impossible for me to ignore? What pattern no longer fits the person He is calling me to become? What decision keeps returning to my heart? What have I been postponing because obedience would require courage? Pray quietly before the Lord. "Father, if you are waking my heart, help me not to run from your voice. Show me what must change. Give me courage to leave what is draining my faith. Give me wisdom to recognize your message. Lead me away from what keeps me distant from you, and bring me closer to the life you are preparing." Because when God is leading you, He may not begin by changing everything around you. He may begin by making your heart unable to remain the same. This is not confusion. This may be awakening. This is not the end of peace. This may be the beginning of obedience. And if you keep feeling that something must change, do not bury that feeling under noise. Bring it to God tonight. Let Him speak to it. Let Him purify it. Let Him guide it. The Father may be calling you gently but clearly, "My child, it is time to come closer." Your old ways no longer satisfy your soul. The things that used to distract you now feel empty. The places you used to run to no longer give you rest. The habits that once helped you escape now leave your heart heavier than before. This may be a message from God. When the Lord begins to lead you, He often makes the old life feel too small for the person He is forming inside you. What once entertained you begins to trouble you. What once seemed normal begins to feel shallow. What once gave temporary comfort now exposes a deeper hunger in your spirit. This is not because you are becoming strange. It is because God is awakening something holy in you. Paul knew what it meant to leave an old life behind. After encountering Christ, the things that once defined him could no longer hold him. His identity changed, his desires changed, his direction changed. The old way lost its power because a greater calling had taken hold of his soul. And maybe this is happening in you. Maybe God is allowing you to feel the emptiness of what once distracted you, because He does not want you to waste your heart on things that cannot heal you. Maybe the pleasure feels weaker because your spirit is asking for something deeper. Maybe the noise feels heavier because God is calling you back to the secret place. Ask yourself tonight, why do the same things no longer satisfy me? Why do I feel empty after what used to comfort me? Why do I feel called to something cleaner, quieter, deeper, and closer to God? Do not ignore that hunger. It may be the Lord showing you that your soul was made for more than survival, more than distraction, more than temporary relief. Pray with honesty. Father, remove from me the taste for anything that keeps me distant from you. Cleanse my desires. Heal the places where I have searched for comfort outside your presence. Lead me into what gives life, peace, holiness, and true rest. Because when God is leading you, He does not only change your path, He changes what your heart can no longer enjoy. And if your old ways no longer satisfy your soul, do not run back to them just because they are familiar. The Father may be calling you into a deeper life, where your peace is not found in escape, but in His presence. You are becoming more sensitive to what grieves God. There are things you used to ignore, but now they trouble your spirit. Words you once spoke without thinking now feel heavy. Attitudes you once justified now disturb your conscience. Habits you once called harmless now feel like distance between you and the Father. This may be a message from God. When God is leading you, He does not only show you where to go, He begins to shape who you are becoming. He softens what became hard. He exposes what was hidden. He makes your heart more tender toward His presence, His word, and His holiness. This is not condemnation. This is awakening. David prayed, "Create in me a clean heart, O God." He understood that the deepest need of the soul is not only a better circumstance, but a heart restored before the Lord. And maybe that is what God is doing in you tonight. He is not just trying to change your situation. He is trying to cleanse the place inside you where decisions, desires, words, and motives are born. Maybe pride has started to bother you. Maybe bitterness feels heavier than before. Maybe you can no longer enjoy certain conversations, certain reactions, certain compromises, certain thoughts. Maybe the Holy Spirit is making you aware of things you once tolerated because God is preparing you to walk closer to Him. Do not run from that conviction. A sensitive heart is a gift. A softened conscience is mercy. A spirit that can still feel when something grieves God is evidence that the Father is still working deeply within you. So ask yourself honestly, what has God been showing me about my heart? What reaction needs healing? What habit needs surrender? What attitude needs correction? What part of me has become too comfortable with what keeps me away from God? Pray quietly tonight. Father, create in me a clean heart. Make me sensitive to your voice. Remove what grieves you. Heal what is wounded in me. Correct what is proud in me. Cleanse what is hidden in me. Do not let my heart become cold toward your presence. Because the message from God may not only be about your next step, it may be about the person He is forming in you before that step comes. And if your heart is becoming more sensitive to what grieves Him, do not ignore it. The Lord may be drawing you into a purer, quieter, stronger walk with Him. You feel pulled toward prayer when you used to run from it. There was a time when prayer felt difficult. You knew you needed God, but you avoided the quiet. You stayed busy, distracted, tired, and overwhelmed. You wanted peace, but you did not always want stillness, because stillness made you face what your heart was carrying. But now, something is different. You feel drawn back to God, not because someone is forcing you, not because you are trying to look spiritual, not because you have perfect words. You feel a quiet pull inside your soul, as if the Father is calling you away from the noise and into His presence. This may be a message from God. When the Lord is leading you, prayer begins to feel less like a duty and more like oxygen. You begin to realize that you do not only need answers, you need Him. You do not only need the situation to change, you need His peace to hold you while you wait. Jesus often withdrew to quiet places to pray. Even surrounded by need, pressure, people, and responsibility, He returned to the Father. He showed us that prayer is not weakness. Prayer is where the soul receives strength before it faces the world again. And maybe God is calling you there tonight. Maybe the reason you feel tired is not only because life is heavy, but because your heart has been far from the place where strength is renewed. Maybe the anxiety has become louder because prayer has become quieter. Maybe the burden feels impossible because you have been carrying it in your mind more than placing it in God's hands. But the Father is not calling you with anger. He is calling you with love. He is saying, "Come closer, bring me your fear. Bring me your confusion. Bring me the thoughts you cannot silence. Bring me the pain you keep hiding. I am not asking for perfect words. I am asking for your heart." So tonight, do not run from prayer. Let this moment become a doorway back to God. Speak simply, speak honestly, speak like a child returning to a loving Father. Pray quietly. "Lord, teach me to pray again. Restore my desire for your presence. Calm my mind, heal my heart, cover my family, guard my sleep. Pull me away from the noise that weakens my faith and bring me back to the secret place where my soul can breathe." Because when God begins to lead you, the secret place starts to feel safer than the noise of the world. And if you feel pulled toward prayer after running from it for so long, do not ignore that call. The Lord may be inviting you back to the place where peace begins. You notice divine warnings before emotional decisions. There are moments when your emotions are ready to move, but your spirit hesitates. You are about to say something, but something inside tells you to stop. You're about to send the message, make the promise, return to the past, accept the offer, react in anger, or step into something quickly. And suddenly there is a quiet warning in your heart. Not loud, not dramatic, but clear enough to make you pause. This may be a message from God. Sometimes the Lord warns you before your emotions lead you where wisdom would never take you. Because emotions can feel urgent, but not every urgent feeling is from God. Fear can rush you, anger can push you, loneliness can pull you back, desire can blind you, pressure can make you choose something your spirit already knows is unsafe. That hesitation may not be fear, it may be mercy. Before Jesus was condemned, Pilate's wife warned her husband after being troubled in a dream. She sensed danger before he fully understood the weight of the decision before him. And this reminds us that God can send warnings before choices are made, before words are spoken, before doors are entered, before damage is done. Maybe God has been doing that with you. Maybe every time you move toward a certain decision, your peace becomes uneasy. Maybe before you react, something inside asks you to remain quiet. Maybe before you reconnect with someone, your spirit remembers what your emotions are trying to forget. Maybe before you commit to something, a gentle discomfort rises like a hand on your shoulder. Do not ignore that. God does not warn you to control you. He warns you because He loves you. He sees the end of the road before you take the first step. He knows which decisions will steal your peace, weaken your faith, disturb your sleep, and pull you away from His presence. So tonight, Ask yourself honestly, what warning have I been trying to explain away? Where have I called it overthinking when it may be discernment? Where have I called it hesitation when it may be protection? Where have I been moving too fast because I do not want to sit with the truth? Pray with humility. Lord, sharpen my discernment. Do not let my emotions make decisions my spirit will regret. Stop me when I'm about to speak from pain. Hold me back when I'm about to move from fear. Protect me from choices that look good but lead me away from you. Because sometimes God's message is not move quickly. Sometimes his message is pause, listen, wait, let me show you what your emotions cannot see. And if you notice divine warnings before emotional decisions, receive them with gratitude. The Father may be protecting you from a pain you would only understand after it was too late. You are being separated from noise so you can hear clearly. At first it may feel lonely. People become quieter. Certain conversations lose their place in your life. The distractions that once filled your nights no longer comfort you. The noise around you begins to feel heavier, and deep inside, you sense that God is pulling you into a quieter place. This may be a message from God. Sometimes the Lord lowers the volume of everything around you because his voice has been buried under too many voices, too many opinions, too many fears, too many distractions, too many demands, too many people telling you what to do, what to feel, what to choose, and who to become. But God often speaks clearly in the place where the heart becomes still. Elijah did not hear the Lord in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. He heard him in a gentle whisper. And that teaches us something powerful. God does not always compete with noise. Sometimes he calls you away from it. Maybe what feels like isolation is not rejection. Maybe it is protection. Maybe God is not taking people away to hurt you. Maybe he is creating enough silence for you to recognize what your soul has been missing. Because when life is too loud, fear can sound like wisdom. Pressure can sound like urgency, emotion can sound like direction, and people's opinions can sound stronger than the voice of God. So tonight, do not fear the quiet. The quiet may be holy. The silence may be healing. The distance may be necessary. The empty space may be where God begins to restore what noise has exhausted. Ask yourself honestly, what noise has been keeping me from hearing God? What distractions have been feeding my anxiety? What voices have been making my faith smaller? What habits have filled my nights but left my heart empty? What have I been listening to more than I have been listening to the Lord? Pray softly, Father, quiet every voice that is not from you. Remove the noise that confuses my spirit. Calm my thoughts. Guard my heart. Teach me to be still without fear. Let your voice become clearer than my anxiety, stronger than my doubts, and closer than every distraction. Because God may be leading you into silence, not to leave you alone, but to meet you there. And if you feel separated from the noise, do not rush back just because quiet feels unfamiliar. The Father may be preparing a sacred place in your night where your soul can breathe again, your mind can rest again, and his whisper can guide you with peace.